Hey guys, I'm gonna make a video real quick about my AK bayonet collection. So I'm just gonna go through left to right from newest to oldest and just tell you a little bit about each bayonet and where they come from. So I'm gonna start over here with the newest ones, these two right here, the Type 3 or the 6H5s. This one on the far left being Bulgarian with the circle 10. And next to it will be a Russian 6H5. And so the differences you can probably see in the handles, you got this like a rough texture right here, and this is a kind of smooth. So that's Bulgarian and Russian, and obviously you got the arsenal markings. You got the circle 10, and then this has like the triangle with the arrow. I believe it's like a Izmash or Izvesk logo right there. But those are the differences, and you can probably see up here on the pommel. The pommel is a little bit different. Like the pommel is a little bit skinnier on the Bulgarian, a little bit wider on the Russian. So those are differences on those. Up next we have a Russian Type 2 or a 6H4 with a Lithuanian frog. And I believe the Lithuanians, the bayonets that they use, they are Russian. So they just basically, they made their own frog. It's pretty neat. These are actually pretty rare. They're hard to find. I lucked out and found that one on eBay. I forget how much I paid for it, but I believe I saw like desert camo ones, and they're pretty expensive. So I don't know. I lucked out on this like woodland camo. It's pretty nice looking actually. I really like it. But again, a Russian Type 2. This one's been like reworked or something because like the handle over here is really smooth, as if it's been sanded down. I actually didn't expect that when it came in, but you could tell. The scabbard's nice and shiny, and then the handle's kind of looks kind of rough, but it's really smooth. Whatever, I'll probably look for a better condition bayonet, but anyway, Russian Type 2. These two right here are Bulgarians. They look just like the Russian Type 2. You got the OTK stamps on the where the wire cutter is. Actually, I think it's a, I don't know, it's a Bulgarian bayonet, but I think the Russians have that stamp on them too. I'm not too sure. I don't know if someone could probably chime in on that, but you can see the circle 10 again. And this has got the circle 10 in the back of it. You probably can't see it. It's hidden. But yeah, these are actually yeah, they're nicely made bayonets, the Bulgarian copies. So yeah, up next we have these two. The first black one with the bulge right there on the scabbards, the East German. These are nicely made. They're all black, and you got the leather frog and leather belt loop. It's like a gray colored frog, and you got the Yugoslavian, again, a black bayonet, but you can tell East German has a bulge right there, and then this one doesn't have it. And again, Yugoslavian, and the bakelit's kind of smooth. It's like shiny, versus this one's like a matte black kind of color. So, and the Yugoslavian has like a brown leather frog, and again, East German has a gray kind of color. The East Germans are all over the place. They're not really that expensive. They're pretty cheap. There's a big surplus of them, I guess. Same thing with the Yugoslavian. They shouldn't cost you that much money. Same thing with the Polish right here. This Polish, excuse me, the Polish Type 2 transitionals. They're all transitionals. They do not have a Type 2 scabbard. They're they're again all transitionals. And the biggest way you can tell between a Polish versus any other bayonet on this wall is it doesn't have the saw blade in the bayonet. And I'll give you an example of that later in a different video when I do like sub videos on like different bayonets, depending on their country. So yeah, they do not have the saw blade. And again, nicely made bayonets. These are probably the cheapest bayonet you'll find on this wall. They're all over the place. You can even get them brand new. They have the hand strap wrapped around the pommel, so that means that they're pretty much brand new. And next we have an Egyptian Type 2. All transitionals. You do not have, or you cannot find a Egyptian Type 2 with the Type 2 scabbard. They're all transitionals. And what's unique about the Egyptians is that they're pretty cheaply made. You can probably see like that kind of glue in there. Really cheaply made, but they're unique. I couldn't find one for a while, I was looking all over eBay when I started collecting because I didn't know you can find these at like on Gunbroker or something. So I was always going through eBay. I could never find one until I finally found one for sale and I picked it up. It doesn't have a serial number, I believe. From what I could see, that the numbered Egyptians are kind of hard to find. You usually never find them. After I bought this one, of course, after I bought it, a couple of them pop up with the numbers matching, or they have the serial number on them. So I was like, all right, whatever. And another Egyptian bayonet that's kind of hard to find is the blue Bakelite. So this is like a black Bakelite, but you can find one that has like a blue Bakelite. And you can only tell by shining a flashlight up to it that it'll kind of shine blue, and this is still black. So that's kind of cool. And they also have like a brown Bakelite, which is usually more expensive. The black Bakelite ones are pretty cheap. The blue Bakelite is a little bit hard to find, and then the brown Bakelite's really pretty expensive. I see them all over the place, and they're a little bit more money. Up next we have the type 1s. So up first we have this East German transitional. You got the Type 2 scabbard on a Type 1. Again, you got the leather, the gray leather frog. And again, you can find these with the Type 1 scabbard. These are actually, the transitionals are of course harder to find. But I was able to luck out and find this one on eBay. So up next we have a Polish Type 1. These are pretty hard to find. I'm starting to see these pop up all over the place. So I finally picked one up. The frog kind of ripped over here on me. I don't know, the leather's really stiff, so I went to pull it out and it ripped on me. But non-matching, and I feel like that's where you usually find these. You always find these non-matching. But again, does not have the saw blade, and that's the one way you can tell between a Polish Type 1 versus the other ones. And the insulators are always black. And up next we have these two, the red and the orange. These are both Russians. They're both, well, this one's like been redone, I guess. It's got like the side of it sanded down and renumbered to match the scabbard. And this one's a Tula, and then this one's an Izvesk or an Izmash. You got the triangle and with the arrow in it. Again, it's a Russian with the orange Bakelite. Then these four are Romanians. The Romanians are there's a whole bunch of different Romanians you can get. And what I mean by that is that there's different colored insulators, different frogs. This is actually a pretty rare frog on this one. It's like a normal frog, but then these ones you always find them with like this style frog. I actually like the style frog a lot more with like that textile kind of material, I believe is what it's called. And then you got this one's like just all leather, really nice. I think this one's been like unused because it's in pretty good shape and the leather's really stiff. One unique thing about this one right here is that it does not have serial numbers on them. And I picked this up at a gun show. And pretty much every single Romanian Type 1 that you'll find has a serial number. It usually has a letter and the numbers on it. Same thing with this one in the back. They always have serial numbers on them. That one does not have a serial number on them, so I don't know if that's probably extremely rare. So I guess I lucked out in finding this one. But yeah, there is a Romanian Type 2, and they're all transitionals. Actually, no. The Romanian Type 2s, they're usually transitionals, but you can find them with the Type 2 scabbard, which is pretty rare. I've seen pictures of them online, and I think I saw one up for sale in Gunbroker, but it's a lot of money. But again, the Romanians, really cheap. I'm thinking about getting a Type 2 if I ever find one up for sale again, but they're kind of expensive. And I believe there is a pretty rare Type 2 that, Type 1, that's pretty rare. That's been like factory refurbished, so you have this Bakelite. It's kind of a little bit rough on a lot of them. This one's kind of smooth actually. But usually they're kind of rough, and the refurbished ones are like more orange. They look kind of like a Russian. They're really orange, and but they're Romanians, and I believe they're factory refurbished or something like that. So I did find one on Gunbroker, but I don't know. I kind of want to save my money for guns. But anyways, with the Romanians, and then we have what I call the first model AK bayonets. You got this East German, nicely made. I don't know how hard these are to find, but again, East German, really nice. You got a Bulgarian right here, and you got a Polish, and you can see the Arsenal mark in the oval 11. It's pretty hard to find them with the frog. I looked out and found this one at a gun show, which has the frog, but it's kind of ripped and kind of falling apart. So I don't really want to mess around with that one that much. But the Polish first models, they're stamped 1958 and 1970. I forget what this one's stamped. I should pull it out right here. Let's see if I can pull it out. Actually, you won't be able to see it, so never mind. But anyways, guys, so that's my entire collection. I'll probably make different videos on like different bayonets depending on their country, and just kind of go over them more in depth and show you the blades and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this kind of gives you an idea. There are other bayonets that are not on this wall yet, like Hungarian or Chinese AK bayonets. Is again different flavors of bayonets that I do not have yet that I do want to get. But so far, this is my collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you.